Luffy and the world government. Hello One Piece enthusiasts, I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about Luffy and the world government's relationship when it comes to dealing with Luffy. So let's just say world government dealing with Luffy and his notoriety has been pretty inefficient. And this is what I like to see, not like to see, but this is what will definitely happen after Egghead Island. Now, where does it all begin? It begins with Luffy's bounty after Wano. We remember the world government's reactions after Big News Morgans basically set Luffy's bounty to 3 billion. Yeah, I think the bounty came from the world government, but the picture of Luffy definitely wasn't. So, what does it mean? The world government's trying to increase Luffy's bounty. We like to signify a pirate's notoriety because of with their, of course, bounties, and that has been the case for every single Yonko, and every single time Luffy has done something big and gotten out alive. So, when it comes to dealing with Luffy, the world government likes to think that when I increase Luffy's bounty, people will just be like more scared and will try to hunt him down. People will try to put him in the top tier list. But here's the point exactly. I think the world government gets it now, is that even with the increase of Luffy's bounty, no one's ever going to hunt him down. And what it's ultimately done is, rather than stating Luffy as this big bad pirate who's been doing so many bad things around the world, Luffy's been gaining publicity ever since the world government started painting pictures. And it signified with the pirate world's reaction to Luffy and the general population as a whole who knew Luffy as a person. So what do I mean by this? Now, of course, Joy Boy and Nika has been finally been revealed, and the Giants of Elbaf are here. Dory and Broggy are here because of them understanding the significance between Luffy awakening Gear 5 and his relationship with Joy Boy. And we see his picture and this giant bounty that we see. I'm sure that even other people other than Kuma or the Giants know some things about Joy Boy or Sun God Nika, which would ultimately result in people just having their fates turned back to them. We already see a spark of revolution between the countries of the world because of the Revolutionary Army, but I like to believe the revolution would spark more from Luffy's awakening rather than the Revolutionary Army in and of itself. Now, this is what will happen at the end of Egghead Island. At the end of Egghead Island, Luffy will escape. He will make it out alive from the Five Elders, and of course the world government would never tell the world that a pirate has escaped from the Five Elders. And of course the Five Elders having powers to begin with, I don't think anyone knows about that. So the point is, Luffy's bounty will keep on increasing, and the world government, when they're trying to shut Luffy down, trying to make people seem that he's the bad guy, or rather, he's a man to be feared, what's ultimately happening is that everyone loves Luffy, or rather, everyone's been expecting Luffy. People want Luffy to become Joy. People who know about Joy Boy want Luffy to embody what Joy Boy embodied, which is freedom. And the people who don't know about it would be more curious. Ultimately, what's happening now is that the more and more Luffy goes to places and meets everyone, the more they're like, oh, this guy is actually very good. And people that know about Sun God Nika would be like, we finally found our savior. And what will ultimately end up happening with the world government's execution of it all is more notoriety for Luffy and more publicity. So this is what I'm trying to say. The world government's ways and the means of telling the world that this so-or-so person is a threat, or so-or-so person isn't so good because they have this high enough bounty, the people of the world would more or less be like, we don't care. Why is this pirate getting such a huge boost? And why is this pirate getting so much publicity anyways? And what they're trying to do with the bounty in other cases, basically try to collect bounty hunters. But at this point, there's no bounty hunter capable of taking Luffy down. Unless, of course, Oda's been hiding something that we have no idea about. At this point, it's either the other Yonkos, one of the admirals, or even at this point, the admirals don't even make sense because Luffy is one-upping Kizaru. Or the Gorosei themselves have to go up against Luffy to beat him down. And what's ultimately going to happen is Luffy will have an increasing bounty, and that will ultimately result in the world government basically failing to shut Luffy down. What they're always doing is having the opposite reaction. Rather, I in fact wouldn't mind seeing a shift in downwards of his bounty because of what Luffy is. Because the world government don't want to spread more attention to Luffy. And after the incident of Wano, both Law and Kid has been shut down by other Yonkos. They're basically out of the picture. The only one that remains went up against the world government, the sole organization that's been trying to shut Luffy, or even in fact all pirates down, is basically escaping from them. And if this comes to the news, which I assume that Big News Morgan has something to say about that, the world government's in very big trouble. And this, I believe, is one of, if not the only reason, why the world government is slowly starting to lose power. And this losing of power I will talk about in my next week's video when I talk about the world government's power as a whole and the grip on the world. But ultimately what it's happening, it's just a part of what the world government is doing. The world government's actions are always leading them to basically losing more power, or rather losing people from their side. They're starting to make everyone question their authority and their means of ruling. And it is definitely the same case for Luffy. The more they try to cage Luffy down with higher and higher bounties, with more people paying attention to him, trying to signify to the world that he is a danger, the more Luffy is like using that notoriety or using it subconsciously, or he's not even trying to use it. It just happens is that the people of the world know that Luffy is something big, and soon enough we will see, after Vegapunk's revelation of the world, we will see at some point that the world will know about Joy Boy and will know about Luffy, and will definitely know about the corruption of the world government. That's it for the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Luffy and his bounties is actually being effective in order to deal with him? Or is the world government just literally messing everything up? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Until next time, peace.